I actually think you're so cute. Do you want to go on a date sometime? Hey babes, welcome back to the dream realm. As you can see, we're experimenting with the studio's green screen a little bit today. Hopefully I'll be able to figure that one out. But today's topic is a bit of a juggernaut. I'm going to be talking about dating as a trans woman, specifically dating as a trans lesbian, because, hello, that's me, trans lesbian, Vera Stone, at your service. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with that. Hopefully you'll find it relatable. I'm going to try and give you like a little bit of advice and try to answer a central question, which is, has dating been easier for me since I transitioned? Spoiler alert, yes, a lot, absolutely, no questions. Keep in mind, this will be my experience. I live in like a very LGBT-friendly city. If you live in the middle of nowhere where people are very homophobic, sorry babe, this is probably not going to be super relatable to you and you'll have to look elsewhere for advice. But in my experience, dating in like a college city where people are very LGBT-friendly, dating has been much easier for me since I transitioned. So, I will start by describing how dating was not easy for me before I transitioned. Basically, I didn't realize it at the time, but after realizing I was trans, looking back, I saw all the things that were dysphoria for what they were, even though I couldn't have recognized that at the time. But basically, before I transitioned, I had like a lot of social dysphoria with like dating and courtship roles. I was terrified of being like a creepy man or like a player or like a Chad or whatever like that, even though that was totally not my personality. It was just like, I could never be like the like male, like active pursuer. I want to say the top, but I feel like straight people don't really organize themselves into tops and bottoms. But anyway, I couldn't be the top. Like, I couldn't ask a girl out on a date. I couldn't, like, flirt with people. I couldn't make my interest in somebody known. But that was, like, what was expected, or that's what is expected of men, and that's what was expected of me because I was a man, or a boy as a teenager or whatever. My dad would always tell me, like, hey, go flirt with those girls when we were out somewhere in public. Like, don't you want to, like, talk to some cute girls or something? I did want to talk to cute girls, but I didn't want to, like, go, like, chat up, like, some hot chicks or whatever. Like, I couldn't do that. I wasn't going to be, like, a player, like, hormone-raged-up teenage boy, like, trying to get, like, the numbers of every girl he sees and just, like, chase tail. No. That was never me. And not that that's what you have to do if you're a boy and you're, like, trying to, like, pursue, like, a romantic or sexual interest, but that was what I was afraid of. Could not do that. And, like, as an extension of that, or just related to that, I couldn't express affection whatsoever at all. Like, even, like, in platonic scenarios, like, I couldn't express affection to, like, my female friends. I would find hugging people extremely awkward, and, like, complimenting people super awkward, too. Even though I, like, felt, today I express myself, like, oh my god, your top is so cute. Oh, it's so nice to see you again. Give me a hug. I felt the same way back when I was like a teenage boy, but I was like, that's like some gay shit. I can't be doing that. Like, what? Like, girls are gonna think I'm weird if I do that. Oh my god. And so, basically, I just ended up being like very awkward and unable to express any kind of affection to anybody. So yeah, that made it really hard for me to date. Essentially, I didn't go on any dates or have any relationships in all of high school until the very end I entered a relationship, which in retrospect was honestly pretty gay, even though I didn't realize I was a girl at the time. But that's a story for a different time. But that lasted for 2.5 years. So 2 years ago, we broke up, and then it took like another 9 months after that for me to transition. And in those 9 months, I thought, okay, I'm single again, let me try dating. But I was still awful at it. Like, I tried to do all of those things that I was describing that I couldn't do as a teenager, but I sucked at them so bad. Like, I couldn't, like, flirt with people. I didn't know how it worked. Like, I would go to parties with the express interest of, like, okay, I'm gonna go to a party, like, find, like, a cute girl here to flirt with, get her number, or, like, go home with her or something. Couldn't do that. I could, like, find, like, a girl at a party to, like, make friends with, but, like, I couldn't express that I was, like, sexually or romantically interested in her. That was terrifying. That was, like, oh my god, I could be like a creepy boy at a party. Awful. I couldn't do that. And that was around the time, I started to realize, something's very strange about my gender. Why do I like think about being a girl all the time? And specifically, I thought about like how lesbians are just so much cooler than everybody else, basically, and how all like the coolest people I know in my life are queer women, and how queer women have like so much of a better appreciation for like feminine beauty than straight men do. Straight men are so gross, but like gay women, they just like they know how to appreciate a woman's beauty. But I'm a straight man, so like this is weird and like off limits to me. And then I eventually realized, maybe I'm not a straight man. Maybe I'm a lesbian. Maybe. Okay, I'm a girl. I started transitioning. And so yeah, here I am a year later, a little bit more than a year after I started transitioning. And this past summer, I've been dating a lot. Here I am, I'm a girl, I'm pretty much fully socially transitioned, and I have the vaccine, and it's nice weather outside, I'm going to parties all the time, let's do this. And I started dating like crazy this summer. I went on like a new date like every week, met so many people, had so many experiences. It was so much fun. This is like the first time in my life that I've like casually dated. I mean, I've just described my dating history to you all, so now you know this is the first time in my life I've casually dated. I'm having a lot of fun filming this video, by the way. Anyway, yeah, so I've been going on a lot of dates this summer, and let me describe to you how much better that has been now that I'm a girl, now that I'm a lesbian, and I like actually am confident in myself and know how to like express affection and how to like play like little courtship games and do all those little social dances. So let me first say that something that's really cool about being gay is that there's not like these like heteronormative like social role expectations, like the man is like expected to like ask out the woman and like pay for the date or whatever. And even though those are like weakening in our society, they're still there, and I still felt pressure to conform to them as a boy, but now they're not there. Like, I'm a girl, and anybody else that I'm interested in is a girl, and there's no like rules about like what like gay girls are supposed to do to ask each other out on dates. Like, society doesn't like think about that shit, so we're just off here like figuring it out on our own. And I've been asked out on a date before. I don't even have to do all the work anymore. And there's not just like these like weird like prescriptivist little roles to fit into. I don't know. I'm like trying to be more specific and think of examples, but it's honestly pretty abstract. But one of the best examples is that I don't always have to make the first move, which is nice. And I really like that between women, just in general, not even like in a romantic or sexual context, but you can be like emotionally honest and like really connect with other women emotionally in like a female to female interaction, and that is so nice. Oh my god, I love that about being a girl. I love like the emotional intimacy and connection that I have with other women, and that's something that you did not get in like male to male interactions. I once told my friend that like hanging out with just guys is essentially like being alone but funnier, and I stand by that. I love that I can like actually talk to other women about my feelings and like be honest and communicative. And that includes expressing affection, like my number one issue that I had before. Like, I could never express to somebody that I was like interested in them, or that I I felt like affection for them. Like, I wanted to like give them a hug or like compliment them or something, and now I can, because that is so normal for girls. Like, the whole like, oh my god, like it's so nice to see you, oh your outfit is so cute, give me a hug. Like, I can do that now, and you can do that for friends, and you can do that for people that you're interested in, and you can just be like a little bit more explicit about it. Like, you can be like, oh, like that, like those jeans really make your butt look good or something like that. Like, you can be a little bit flirty, and I don't know, it's just so much easier now than when I was a boy. And maybe the biggest thing is that I'm just confident now. Like, I like myself. Not that I like explicitly disliked myself before I transitioned, but I know that I look good. I know that I'm like charismatic and lovable. Like, I like didn't have like the best self-worth before transitioning. Hello, every other trans person watching this, I know you can relate to that. So now that I actually like myself and see myself as like a potential like romantic or sexual interest for other people, like it's plausible that they would be interested in me, I feel so much more confident, because I know that that's like an actual possibility, and I know that I'm like hot shit, and like, you know, I could ask somebody out on a date and they'll likely say yes, and usually they do say yes. So that just feels great, like knowing that, having that confidence. Okay, perfect, I'm doing good on time. So my like main advice that I have for trans lesbians out there is to, okay, so I've heard from my friends that like they don't know when things are like a date or when things are like platonic and just friendly, and I think that's like a pretty normal part of being gay. And I haven't known that I was gay and like been engaging in gay behavior for that long, but I must say I've had a lot of experiences this summer and I feel like I've already gotten pretty good at dating. So for me anyway, the easiest solution to that was to just be direct. Like when I ask somebody out on a date, I don't like just leave it like ambiguous and like try and like stress out about like if it's a date or not the whole time. I will say like, hey, do you want to hang out with me next week and do this or whatever? And they say yeah, and I was like, cool. By the way, I think you're really cute. Should we make it a date? And they're like, yeah, let's go. Let's make it a date. So just be direct and communicative. That's like one of my favorite parts about being a girl. Like I said, is how communicative you can be. And then my other big piece of advice is to find people in spaces that like will be receptive to your identity, I guess. Like for me personally, I really enjoy like the music scene in my city, and I go to like a lot of like do-it-yourself like music shows hosted at people's houses, and everybody there is gay as hell. Like and I mean, my gaydar has also developed a little bit, but it's really easy to find other queer and trans people at those places, and just being in that kind of environment is really easy or really helpful for facilitating my like dating game, because I know I'm not surrounded just by like a bunch of cis-het people that are not going to be interested in doing anything with a trans lesbian. Like, I'm in my element in those kind of environments. So I would recommend that you do that. And if you can't do that in person, then use like a queer dating app. I used Her a little bit, and I've also heard, I can't think of the other ones that I've heard of, but there's like lots of queer dating apps out there. I can recommend Her. I've had some good experiences off that. Yeah, so let's see, what else? Oh, and my last piece of little advice for you is like, when should you tell somebody that you're transgender? That's like a big question. For me, pretty simple. I usually tell somebody, hey, just in case you didn't know, I'm trans. After I ask them out on a date, but before we meet up, just to make sure they know. Usually I have it like in my bio, or like I just assume people can tell. But that's, I think, a good time to like make sure that it's like all good. Is like after you've already set up a rapport, and like after like they have a reason to know that you're trans, because like you're about to go on like a date and like get to know each other better. But telling them before you actually get to that point can make things a little bit easier to like do it over text rather than in person. So that's my little piece of advice for when you should tell them that you're trans. Alright, that about does it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I think that this one's probably going to reach a lot of people through like the YouTube search terms algorithm, so if you came from that, let me know in a comment, please. And again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Subscribe, like, comment, blah, 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 YouTube shit, yeah. Anyway, I talk about being trans and some philosophy and probably lots of other stuff coming soon. I'm going to expand and diversify my content. So, get excited for that. Alright, bye everyone!